A chilling sight this morning. The law enforcement family of fallen Fayetteville police officer Stephen Carr escorting his body to the Arkansas State Crime Lab in Little Rock. Officer Carr was shot and killed in his patrol car outside the Fayetteville Police Department Saturday night. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Piñate.
And I'm Chad Mira. A candlelight memorial will be held in his honor tomorrow night on Dixon Street. KNWA's Crystal Martinez is live out there this evening where the vigil will be tomorrow. Crystal, what's the latest?
Hey guys, bar and restaurant owners here on Dixon Street are uniting to remember Officer Stephen Carr. They say Officer Carr would walk up and down these streets, making sure everyone was safe.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Matt Ferries is the head bouncer at JJ's Grill on Dixon Street.
I remember Officer Carr always parking close by, and them walking by and patrolling, checking in with us from time to time.
Ferries says he would see Fayetteville police officer Stephen Carr and his partner Natalie UC patrol the entertainment district on weekends.
There's a certain kind of camaraderie that you feel whenever you see the police officers walking up and down Dixon Street.
Officer Carr was shot and killed in his patrol cruiser outside the police station Saturday night.
It's such a shame to have one less of those kind of people walking around.
Carr was getting ready to start his shift on Dixon Street.
He's kind of like a Captain America for Fayetteville.
The gunman was also shot and killed by two officers who came outside after hearing the gunshots. One of them was UC.
It's gut-wrenching. He didn't deserve what happened to him at all.
Amber Hurlbutt owns Infusion Karaoke Bar and is organizing a candlelight memorial for Carr.
They protect us, 365 days a year, and we just want to help lift them up in their time of, their time of darkness and their time of need.
The vigil will be Tuesday night at 5:30 outside the Walton Arts Center to remember Carr and to show their love for the police department.
There's something to be said about them being selfless in that manner and still coming out to make sure that the community is safe, both on the square and Dixon Street.
A memorial uniting a community, igniting a spark in humanity.
Give your friends a hug, give your parents and your brothers and sisters a hug and let them know they love you, because time is short.
Again, the candlelight vigil will be outside the Walton Arts Center on the steps from 5:30 to 6:30 tomorrow night. At that time, the street from West to School will be closed. We're told at 6 o'clock, Chief Mike Reynolds will come out and speak with the crowd. It is an event open for the public to attend. Everyone is encouraged to wear the color blue. Live in Fayetteville, Crystal Martinez, KNWA, Northwest Arkansas News.
Visitation for Officer Stephen Carr will be this Wednesday from 3 to 7 at the University Baptist Church right off of Maple Street. Then the funeral will be Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That will be at Bud Walton Arena. Those who knew Stephen Carr have been pretty unanimous. He left a positive impact on just about everyone he met.
KNWA's Andrew Epperson is live in studio to tell us about his life before the badge and how he still stands out to former sports coaches. Andrew.
Yeah, Chad, Jennifer, at 6'3", Stephen Carr was the perfect size to play football, and he lived up to it. 3-year letterman in high school, short college career even. His former coaches say his impact on them lasted long after he hung up his cleats and will continue well after a bullet took his life.
He was such a great young man that you knew the future was so bright for him because of how he went about his daily business.
Long before Stephen Carr was a devoted Fayetteville police officer, he was an offensive lineman, remembered for his hard work on the field and strong relationships off it.
Stephen played football for me during his high school years at the Woodlands High School.
Woodlands, Texas. Mark Schmid remembers the big frame and the bubbly smile.
He was the big, gentle giant who you didn't want to go up against because on the football field, he was a monster.
Carr was a 3-year letterman, an all-district his senior year, giving him a chance to play at Southwest Baptist in Missouri, where he played for 2 years and coached for 2 more.
He was always there to step up and do that, go to the local schools and read and play with the kids and, do whatever he could to give back.
So after Carr was shot to death behind the Fayetteville police station Saturday night, Southwest Baptist coach Robert Clardy says we lost one of the good ones.
He was a special person while he was here, and I know he had that same impact whenever he got to Fayetteville. He had the same impact on them, and it's just been very, very tragic.
Schmid remembers the young Carr dreaming of a day in law enforcement, following in the footsteps of his dad.
His dad was huge in his life, you know, being a police officer, and Stephen was proud of that.
Gentle giant, special person, all-American boy. Perhaps one term fits better than all.
It's just a travesty, but yet he knew it, and he chose to do that, and you know, what a hero.
Southwest Baptist released a statement about Stephen Carr. You can find that on our website. Live in studio, Andrew Epperson, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.
As the community mourns the loss of Officer Carr, we're learning more details about his suspected shooter, London Phillips.
He was looking for an officer to kill.
Take a look at your screen. It's this man, London Phillips, who Fayetteville Police Chief Mike Reynolds says murdered his officer Stephen Carr Saturday night.
Evidence shows that Officer Carr was ambushed and executed while he was sitting in his patrol vehicle.
During a press conference held Sunday, Chief Reynolds described the moments after Carr was found shot dead. These Fayetteville police officers, Corporal Shay Floyd and Officer Natalie Usey, shot and killed Phillips.
If it wasn't for the response of our officers that engaged and killed the suspect, yes, I do believe that he would have hurt more people, possibly more officers or possibly citizens within our community.
Phillips found with multiple rounds.
The suspect had a 9mm Taurus, and he had 2 boxes of ammunition.
Now, just days after Officer Carr's death, we're learning more about the man accused of pulling the trigger. A Jackson, Missouri native who has previously had a run-in with Fayetteville police.
In December of last year, the suspect was we had a call on the suspect impersonating a police officer.
But his criminal record dates back even further to October 2012. Court records out of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office in Florida reveal Phillips was charged with domestic assault on October 2nd. In a victim's statement, Deborah Cox wrote this letter. It reads in part, "London, my son, has been on a psychotic roller coaster toward me all evening." She continued, "He threatened me while hugging me, whispered in my ear, 'I'll burn you.'" Days later, he was arrested for violating a no-contact order, but ultimately the case against him was dismissed because of insufficient evidence. Now, fast forward 7 years, it's Phillips who Chief Reynolds says murdered one of his own.
All I know is that this was a cowardly act, and I have no information that leads me to believe that he targeted this officer specifically.
In Fayetteville, Chelsea Helms, KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.
Around Arkansas, an Arkansas inmate makes a run for it while working at a city park. A manhunt's now underway. This is 37-year-old Charles Hausner. He's serving a 3-year prison sentence at the Southwest Arkansas Community Corrections Center. He was convicted of drug charges in Benton County in August of 2019. Hausner was last seen at 8:45 this morning wearing a yellow inmate uniform. He ran away from Hobo Park in Texarkana in what law enforcement call a spur-of-the-moment act.
It's a big day for Razorback football. Arkansas has a new head coach.
Sam Pittman now in charge of the program. For more on the new head hog, let's turn it over to the Pig Trail Nation crew. Drew Ammon joining us now. Hey, Drew.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, this guy cares a lot about Razorback football. Sam Pittman knows about the Hill. He was here as O-line coach from 2013 to 15. When introduced at a public celebration this afternoon, an emotional Pittman had to step away from the podium for a bit. After all, he was a junior college head coach in 1992-93 at Hutchinson Community College, but this is the Arkansas job. This is a job in the SEC West. He called people who could get into contact with Hunter Yurachek so he could go after this job. The pursuit paid off as he checks the boxes for Yurachek.
The ties to the SEC and the recruiting ties to this conference. He is known throughout the country, and you can go back and look at the kids he's recruited in this conference. While he was at Arkansas, at Georgia, when he's at Tennessee, he is a relentless recruiter, and it's through relationships that he builds with the young men and their families. And that is a big part of this. Is not an easy conference to recruit within.
The staff, I'm going to have, I don't know how many, a few, before the end of the week. It's more important to me that we try to get some of these kids that are committed to us.
Contract details, 5-year deal, $3 million per year is the salary for Pittman. He gets an extra $250,000 if he wins 6 or more games in a season, $500,000 if he wins 7 or more in a season, $750,000 if he wins 8 or more. Mike Irwin, our senior analyst, will join us later in sports. We'll talk about the practice habits of Sam Pittman, how tough this team may be under Sam. Back to you.
Some nice incentives there to win us some football games.
Yes, and fans for sure wanting those wins.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, thousands of children in foster care and waiting to be adopted.
In this week's Doing Good Reports, we look at how an organization is helping introduce them to people looking to add to their families. But first, let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Dan Scott with a look at this chilly weather.
Yeah, Jack Frost is nipping at our nose tonight. Temperatures are feeling more like the mid-20s. Just look at the almanac here, and you'll see that we were warm before the front room moved in the upper 50s. But we're showing you that colder weather continuing. How long? We'll have it in the forecast next.
You're watching KNWA News at 10 with Jennifer Pinate, Chad Mira, Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, and your Pig Trail Nation report with Drew Ammon. Closed captioning is sponsored by Air Control.
He was an all-American boy. I've got 131 officers, including myself, and if I had 131 Stephen Carrs, I wouldn't be more ecstatic. He knew what the job was about, and he just wanted to serve his community.
We're bringing our state-of-the-art fiber optic internet service right into the homes of all Arkansas Valley members. Contact Wave Rural Connect now.
At Underwoods, we've been grading diamonds for decades, and over time, it hasn't gotten any easier. Each diamond has its own natural character. As a precious gemstone is evaluated in our lab, we're keenly aware that minute details often separate ordinary from spectacular.
When you walk in, the conversation is never about the pieces, it's about the quality.
Underwoods, it's where you buy the best, on Dixon Street in Fayetteville.
The best thing about my job today is I get to go meet all these great customers, and they talk about what they do and what their business is. What I try to do is try to figure out a way to help them make their banking easy for them. We talk through whatever their needs are. I listen. I learn about what their business is. I try to figure out ways that we can help support them and make their banking easier. Legacy National Bank is my bank, and this is my legacy.
On the economy, a unique leader, Mike Bloomberg's created over 400,000 jobs. As president, an opportunity economy that works for us. Tax fairness, where the wealthy pay their fair share. Education, affordable college and high-skill vocational training so people can succeed in the new economy. Economic security, lower-cost health care, and affordable middle-class housing. Proven leadership on jobs to build an economy where people don't just get by, they get ahead.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Hey, Northwest Arkansas. Are you looking for a custom piece of furniture? Maybe a sofa in that specific fabric you just love? Well, Sam's Furniture is the place for you. We've got over 50 living room styles available in hundreds of custom fabrics. You can even select your own wood color, nail head trim, arm styles, and so much more. All custom orders are made in America and can ship in as little as 30 days. For all your custom furniture needs at guaranteed lowest prices, shop Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dan Scott.
Well, it was nice and mild before the front moved in. Late this morning, temperatures were in the upper 50s, and then all of a sudden, man, the temperature plummeted as that front moved in. And the farther northwest you went, the earlier the front moved in, so it wasn't quite as warm. But look at the temperatures near Little Rock in the upper 60s, close to 70 degrees. And it was cold today. Tomorrow will be a little bit less cold just because the wind won't be as biting, and we will be cloudy nearly all day, but we will see some clearing right around sundown. Wednesday, we've got a sunny day. Your biking forecast we give you every Monday and Thursday, which, by the way, tomorrow we're going to be showing along the trail, and that's supposed to be completed, which is all about Centerton and some of the exciting things that are happening in the city of Centerton to get outdoors, McKissick Springs Park, as well as the new bike trails and the BMX park that they're putting in. Well, what about precipitation? If you like winter weather, you might be excited about this, seeing this on the radar. However, looks can be deceiving because there's dry air. That's been the key out of the entire day. Even though we have had a lot of cloud cover, very dry air at the surface is eroding this precipitation. It's sublimating the snow, it's evaporating the precipitation, and you can see that is pushing to the south as that dry, cold air moves in. How dry is it? Well, you've got temperatures that are in the low 30s, but you even have relative humidity only around 60%. I mean, you can just feel it on your skin. You need the extra moisturizer. Also, you can see the precipitation is cold enough in the upper levels in the river valley to show a little bit of snow as you see that changeover taking place. But the problem is that it's not anywhere close to the radar because that's lower to the ground, and so the snow is sublimating and evaporating. And what happens is as the radar beam gets farther away from the radar, it gets higher up above the ground. So of course it's seeing all that snow that's falling, and then you get out there and you're underneath it and you're not getting any snow. Look at these temperatures. It's cold enough for winter weather in northwest Arkansas, in the lower 30s, and that's not even the wind chill. And it's still above 40 in Fort Smith. You got 37 in Sallisaw, well above freezing. So there's no chance of accumulation at all or any impacts at all. Temperatures are cold enough in northwest Arkansas, but that northerly wind is drying out the air. It also makes it feel very chilly. Look at this, wind chills in the lower to middle 20s. But the dew points are in the low 20s to upper teens. And what does that do? Well, that is eroding all this precipitation. It's unique in winter weather, especially when you have a dry air mass, and you've got to be saturated from the ground all the way up, and it's got to be below freezing in order to see that snowfall. Now, there could be a thin little band of snow, and there could be a little bit of development on the north side of this system as this energy swings in. That's our only hope for seeing any types of flurries across northwest Arkansas. I took all the precipitation out. You can see that little thin little strip, that little ribbon of precipitation, but it's also shifting to the south as the front continues to push down to the south. And here's this weather system. After this moves through, our weather is going to be pretty quiet for the next several days. So the future track's showing too much precipitation because we know it's too dry at the surface, and that's evaporating, and that's not true. And then you look at the totals, and there's nothing. I mean, maybe a trace in Russellville and farther south in central Arkansas. They might get a little bit of a wintry mix, but around here, just too dry. Temperatures hitting about 40 degrees tomorrow, in the mid-20s to start the morning. On Wednesday, we climb into the lower 50s, so we will moderate. And if you are wondering about winter weather and when is the next chance, well, that could be coming at the end of the weekend. Here's Sunday night and into Monday morning of this weekend. There's a weather system that's swinging in, but there's a lot of uncertainty about that. Some models don't show that until Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. It's something that we'll watch, and no pun intended, we have on our radar. Over the weekend, we're in lower to middle 50s, but there comes the next cold front Sunday into Monday. We'll be right back after the break.
England Dental. Quality dentistry with compassion and care. Call us today. Winter is right around the corner, and it's time to get your heating system checked. Paschal's licensed technicians will perform a 26-point tune-up and safety inspection of your system for just $88. Don't get caught in the cold. Call Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric to schedule your system tune-up today.
For a number of Arkansas families, empty shelves can mean empty stomachs. Help the Northwest Arkansas Food Bank continue the fight against food insecurity by stocking the shelves. You can make a huge difference by donating the following items. You can also help by making a donation online via our website and positively affect another person's life with a simple click of the mouse. It's never too late to make a difference. Help fight hunger in our communities today.
I went to another place that I thought I would be able to save money, pay less because of our financial situation, and the people there were incompetent. They did some things that actually destroyed some of my teeth, and now Dr. Solera is repairing all the damage. He takes the time to figure out not only what you want, but to not cause you to go out into an area that you maybe can't afford.
Solera Dental Spa.
Hi, David Nelms here for Adventure Subaru. Introducing the all-new 2020 Subaru Outback. Redesigned from the ground up, the new Outback is the most capable, comfortable, and most advanced Subaru Outback ever. Right now during the Subaru Share the Love event, get a great car and support a great cause. At Adventure Subaru in Fayetteville. Dedicated to our community and delivering service in the Nelms tradition.
When the power goes out, don't be left in the dark. You can live life uninterrupted with a whole home generator installed by Paschal. Call Paschal today to make sure your home is ready when weather strikes. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, the ones you can trust.
Last week, Jimmy was smoking hot.
We are the Football Party Patrol, getting your party out of control.
This week, there's Ryan Reynolds and John Hamm. And tonight, Timothy Chalamet and Ashley Graham. New Fallon. Then Seth's back with Quentin Tarantino. New tonight.
Now, from Fayetteville, high on the hill, this is your Big Trail Nation Report. Sponsored by Crane Automotive Team.
All right, we got Mike with us. We'll get to Mike in just a bit. Sam Pittman leaves Georgia after 4 years coaching the O-line for the Bulldogs. He arrives on the Hill, having also served as associate head coach at Georgia since February 2019. Included in his 32 years of coaching, 7 stops at Power 5 schools. He's been in a program at Georgia that won the last 3 SEC East titles. Hunter Yurachek likes what Pittman brings to shore up how physical the Hogs may be in the trenches.
They're going to be physical. They're going to be fast. There's going to be some time in there where we walk through some situations. There are a lot of ways to learn. But it's hard if you're not tough every day to continue to be tough.
Program was fragile under Chad Morris, Mike.
You got to have toughness. And I think that's the biggest issue, and that's what Hunter Yurachek saw. I had a junior high teacher, and we had a bunch of rowdies in that class. He never had to raise his voice because you could look at him and tell that you didn't mess with him. That's the kind of guy Sam Pittman is. I watched him coach when he was here. He didn't raise his voice at his O-linemen. They just respected him and did what he asked them to do. Now he's got a whole team of guys that will do that.
Had a really good O-line at Arkansas in 2015. Dan Skipper, Sebastian Tretola, Denver Kirkland. You can go on down the line. Sam Pittman, welcome back to the Hill. Happening this week in New York, the Big Apple festivities for the College Football Hall of Fame. Alyssa Orange reports.
You've been to New York City in a football capacity. This will be your 4th time. 2 Heisman award ceremonies, the draft, and now this. How does this one rank with the other 3?
I think I tell everybody going into it, that was always my lifelong dream to be able to get drafted into the NFL, and so that was a very special event for me right there. But to come and be inducted into the College Hall of Fame, you know, it's many great players that have been through the NCAA football, and you know, just to be considered as one of those right there and to go in the Hall of Fame is unbelievable for me.
It's just another step in that career. First the Heisman, then the draft, and then of course the Hall of Fame. And so to put that into perspective, 0.02% of college football players get into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's a small percentage, and you get to join the likes of the guys who are in it.
That's why I say just to be able to go into the Hall of Fame with these guys that, like you say, 0.02%, it's just unbelievable. It's something I don't think I can even describe it in words right now. So, I'm definitely honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a great event.
Listen, Orange and D-Mac, thanks very much. We'll have more news coming up. Hogville.net for more info on the College Football Hall of Fame class of 2019. D-Mac going in.
Bud Anderson Home Services, your one-stop shop for home comfort.
At Mr. Sparky, don't wait for us to arrive. Track your electrician. Now that's what we call no malarkey.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I don't want to spoil the surprise, but could it be a 2019 Ranger with Ford Copilot 360 technology in lightning blue? I guess only Santa knows for sure.
Get 20% estimated savings on Ford Ranger. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Brock here in our new 50,000 square foot Sam's Furniture Clearance Center. If you're looking for low prices on quality furniture, you gotta check this place out. Sofas starting at $294. 5-piece dining sets, only $188. All wood 7-piece bedroom sets from $799. Even brand name queen pillow top mattress sets starting at just $299. It's our Sam's Furniture Clearance Center just next door to the Superstore in Springdale, Arkansas's largest furniture destination. Get it at Sam's.
Yes. Go on, sing. Come on.
Today's is on now. Unwrap the joy of a new HRV, complete with second row magic seat.
That's all right.
The pain would like shoot up my heels. I would tiptoe out of bed because my heels hurt so badly. When I went to the Good Feet store, I had a free consultation, free fittings. They allowed me to try on the arch supports. I walked around and I started sobbing because I had no pain. There were no gimmicks. It's just try them on. If it doesn't work for you, then don't buy them.
See if they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
I have something for you.
I have something for you, too.
It's the GMC Denali season to upgrade. Get up to 20% below MSRP on these GMC Denali models. That's over $14,000 total value on this Sierra Denali. We are professional grade. GMC.
At Mr. Sparky, don't wait for us to arrive. Track your electrician. Now that's what we call no malarkey.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You're watching KNWA News at 10.
Thousands of children in Arkansas are living in foster care. And right now, there aren't enough people looking to adopt. In this week's Doing Good report, we look at how Project Zero is helping them find new families. A few years ago, Nick Bethay and his wife knew they wanted to adopt.
Without Project Zero, I wouldn't have my children right now.
They got linked up with Project Zero.
I got sent a video of two kids that were in need of a home and had been in foster care for many years. And I looked to my wife and I said, I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure these are our kids that God intended for us.
Project Zero makes these videos to share stories of children in foster care. That's how the Bethays were introduced to Kaya and Devin.
My daughter Kaya is 8 and my son Devin turns 7 on Sunday.
Tiffany Gerwell with Project Zero said it's one of many ways the organization helps children find new homes.
Our matching events are where the families who are open and approved through the state to adopt get to come and interact with the waiting children.
But there's more work to be done.
We would love to see families waiting for kids, not kids waiting for families.
Gerwell says Arkansas needs more families willing to adopt. And Project Zero needs more community partnerships.
Not just financially, donations as well. We have some companies that will donate toys, which are great because we can use those at our events. We typically try to give the kids things at the events. We really want them to have that hope built.
These partnerships provide anything from Razorback tickets to free haircuts.
We've had a lot of different businesses step forward and say, can we do this? And we'll really try and find a way.
It's through work like this that helped complete the Bethay family.
I understand what the love of a father is, something I had heard about, more so than I ever have before. It's a different feeling when you go home and you know that there's two lives there that are dependent upon you.
And he said it's all thanks to Project Zero. If you'd like to get more information on Project Zero or are interested in what it takes to adopt, visit this story on our website, nwahomepage.com. We'll be right back.
Steak and Shake is proud to sponsor KNWA Northwest Arkansas News.
Are you the last one to take a shower in the morning? No hot water? Never run out of hot water again. Steve's Plumbing, 479-631-8804, installs tankless water heaters. Mention this ad and receive $100 off installation.
So one back-to-school tip that I would like to give parents is, man, put an apple in there, something that's going to be able to easily cleanse from the teeth and not cause cavities. Cheez-Its and Goldfish and things like that that are really easy to give to kids actually form a little paste and cause a lot of cavities.
Lewis Automotive Group in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. Visit our website to view current inventory and specials.
I have been an allergy sufferer all of my life, so I was looking for something different and easier. ENT Center of the Ozarks made a serum for me that was exact to my needs. I would highly recommend ENT Center of the Ozarks.
Last year, Kathy bought her husband a Wi-Fi meat thermometer. Open. This year, she got him a Hyundai. It's packed with the technology he really wants. Like an 8-inch touchscreen display and wireless device charging. This year, no gift receipt required. Hyundai Holidays. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Get 0% APR for 72 months, plus 1,000 bonus cash, and no payments for 90 days on a 2020 Elantra. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Thousands of tractor trailers deliver the goods we count on every day. Food, TVs, clothing, you name it. Big trucks need a lot of room to operate. Smaller vehicles, the kind you and I drive, need to allow them room to do their jobs. Unfortunately, big truck accidents can be devastating, so pay attention, share the road, and drive defensively. But if you're hurt in an accident caused by a big truck, call Taylor King Law at 1-800-CAR-WRECK. We're going to be on your side, by your side.
When we realized that Mom wasn't going to get better, we said, let's go home from the hospital. Thankfully, Circle of Life Hospice came with us. They are helping us to share some wonderful moments together. They've taken something that could have been a difficult situation and have made it into something special that I will cherish forever. I really don't know what I would have done without them. They did so much, and they will always be a part of me.
More families choose Circle of Life Hospice, the largest hospice provider in Northwest Arkansas. When the time is right, choose Circle of Life.
This year has been truly special for our McClarty Daniel family of dealerships. We hope yours has been too.
From our amazing team of associates to our wonderful customers, we are truly blessed to be part of such a special community in Northwest Arkansas.
Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your lives. We want to wish you a happy and healthy holiday season and a Christmas filled with cheer.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Welcome back. Big things happening today. Of course, the head football coach finally named and introduced today.
New era. Pretty
Sigh of
awesome.
relief.
Yeah. Welcome back, Sam Pittman. That guy's great. Hilarious guy. Awesome to cover. Yep.
Well, you're going to do a lot of it from now on, so there you go.
Ready for it. Yep.
A lot of excitement there. Maybe a warming trend, too, is causing some excitement in the weather. Not tomorrow, though. It'll still be cold.
All right, well, thank you, Pittman, for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Good night.